Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 27.
No.
Episode 2010?
No.
2011?
Episode 20 of Lesbian Talk. How are you today?
I'm ecstatic that you were playing Balls Explode while we're doing this, and thus perpetuating the myth that lesbians like to see men's balls explode.
Listen, my balls explode with glee. But you know why my balls explode with glee? It's because we have a guest co-host today.
That we are going to show you.
Oh my god. If you weren't listening last time, I'm not sure when that episode will go up, our word from last week was show, as in to show or tell, to show someone your balls. I don't know. But today we have Patrick with us. Say hello.
Hi, everybody.
And he is with us because he won the auction benefiting the company that you keep, which is Color the Grayscale, Karen's her project that she's trying to get off the ground.
Yep.
And so finally, like 3-4 months later.
Yes, as a fundraising thing, and one of the several things were put on eBay, including co-host an episode of Lesbian Talk, and thanks to Patrick, we won. Sorry, no, Karen won.
We won in the end because we had Patrick with us.
Yes, but Karen received an extra how many? Like $100 of funding, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was $100.
It was $100.
And I'd just like to say two things. One, thank you so much for helping our friend's project, and secondly, why did you drop $100 to talk to us?
When I bid on something on eBay, it's kind of war. It's victory at all costs.
Nice. Do you have like a whole Klingon code of ethics? Like, I will not step away, I will not sleep, I will snipe this auction at any cost. It is a good day to bid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which
is why I very rarely bid on eBay, because I get like that.
My dad sold a CD set on eBay. He was so excited. He was like, somebody bought it! Now what? I was like, well, you better send it to them.
If you don't, you'll get a bad reputation.
Well, this was like 2 Christmases ago, so I'm assuming everything went well for him.
Well, he's not dead.
Don't say such things like that about my father.
Well, he's not. Oh, what a mean thing for you to say about your father.
Well, no,
he's not dead.
He just had the surgery, and don't jinx anything.
But you're supposed to be all into skepticism and stuff. You can't say things like "don't jinx it."
I'm allowed to be superstitious. It's an art form. So anyway, the word from last week was show, because I picked poorly, apparently. And it's kind of a not really exciting word. But we're going to talk about it anyway. So, Hagen, what is your experience with anything involving the word show?
I really wish they'd put the TV show Spiral Zone on DVD.
I guess I agree with you.
Feel free.
She's speechless.
Yeah. Never heard of Spirals.
Never heard of Spiral Zone? Oh, it was a really bizarrely fatalistic 1980s kids cartoon where like the heroes were eventually probably going to lose, and it had a really kicking soundtrack.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. I haven't heard of it either. It's fine. Yeah. See, I always think of show and tell, which I don't really. I mean, like it's always a thing, but I only remember doing show and tell like 2 or 3 times in my life.
See, the teen version of the other version of show and tell, the non-school classroom-based version of it is a lot harder to do over the internet.
That's called Truth or Dare, babe. Just to let you know.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Well, it's Truth or Dare is kind of like show and tell. It's like, show that you've got what it takes to take the dare, or tell the truth. So there.
I don't think that's Truth or Dare at all.
It's kind of. Okay, no, here's a good example of show and tell. So this happened a long time ago, and I will not use anyone's first names in case any of them are listening to the show. But, so it was at a Christmas party, and we were playing a drinking game called King's Cup. And if you're not familiar with King's Cup, you divide the deck into 4 piles. Everyone sits in a circle. You put a solo cup in the middle. You all have something different to drink and many, many backups. So you each have a turn pulling a card, and each card means different things, like 6 means chicks, so just the girls drink and stuff like that. Well, one of the cards is Truth or Dare, and for some reason, my one friend kept getting Truth or Dare. Now, he was actually having an affair with a woman who was not his wife, although they were just fiancé at the time. And he knew that my one friend was going to ask about it and call him out in front of everybody, so he kept choosing Dare. And finally, he was dared down to being in his boxer shorts. And as luck would have it, he pulled the last truth or dare. And they looked at each other, and some kind of guy signal passed between them. And this was like the final countdown. And so he says, fine, dare. And my one friend says, fine, drop him. And stand there for 30 seconds. And he had no choice. He had to. But the thing is that we all knew he was having an affair anyway. But so we stood there, and we got the full frontal him for 30 seconds. And my best friend,
And if you weren't gay before, you would be now.
Well, no, my best friend had been in the hospital. She had an allergic reaction, so she hadn't been able to make the party. So she's like, "Well, what was it like?" And I said, "Well, I don't even know if I should have been impressed or not. You know, I don't have any judgment on that. You know, what do I have to compare to?"
You just say like a baby holding an apple.
It looked like a penis and balls. I don't know. It looked like a health class. I didn't go in close for an examination. I wasn't like, okay, make it do push-ups, you know? It just, I don't know.
Hold his balls and tell him to cough?
I don't know, and I was drunk too, so there's your show and tell.
I think she's won the episode.
Da, 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 da. So, Patrick, what is your example of the word show in any form of it?
Well, guess, keep up with the show and tell thread. I think what I think of show and tell is always, here's the thing, now I'm going to tell you about it. And to me, it's usually like when I go to a convention or something, I take a lot of pictures and post on it, say, hey, here's me with so-and-so and whatnot.
So kind of like virtual show and tell.
Yeah, kind of.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
So these conventions you've been to, have you been to MagFest?
Yes, I was actually at the last MacFest.
Okay,
I was actually there for Mega's birthday thingy.
Yeah.
I think I remember that, as a matter of fact, which is surprising because I don't remember much about MagFest.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I recognize your voice, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't imagining it.
Yeah, no, we didn't actually talk much.
That's fine. Nobody talked at my party. I think everyone just drank or crunched together.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it differently if it happens next year.
Yeah.
Probably like a bigger space.
Well, the space was okay because it was 2 big rooms, but there was just always so many people there, and it gets really hot. And
we'll do it in shifts, and there won't be any singing this time, and we'll plan ahead. See, also the thing is, I had the best of plans, and then I got alien death flu, and so everything kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
And I never keep hearing stuff about the con plague, and I was wondering when I go to there, when will it be my turn?
It's, sometimes you get off light, sometimes you just come home with a cold, or sometimes you feel lousy the next day and you think you're gonna get sick, so you tell everyone, oh, I think I got con plague, and oh, that sucks. But then 3 hours later, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I lied.
Yeah, I've got no con flu from any of the MagFests, but I had a flu thing at this convention in Belfast.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But it wasn't anything to do with the convention. I started feeling ill on the way over there, so that's the weirdest form of con flu.
That's kind of what happened to me. I got really sick, literally within 12 hours of MagFest. And then somebody, I forget who it was like, well, you shouldn't have come. I was like, look, I sunk so much money into this. You have no idea.
Fucking yeah.
You can just hold your breath around me, okay?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Who said that to me? I can't even remember who it was.
Can I just assume it was an asshole?
No, I think it was a girl. So I can't remember who, so it's probably not important. If it was you, write the show. I'm sorry. That was the laundry. There's no cause for alarm. But what else did we want to talk about today? Oh, we had a cultural experience today.
We're very cultural.
A very cultural experience that we decided that we had to talk about. Now, honey, would you explain exactly how we got ourselves into this situation? Or do you want me to?
We were going to an Asian grocery, and when we got there, Omega suddenly went, "Hey, that's the place. We're beside the Asian grocery. That's the place that Andrew Zimmern went in Bizarre Foods."
He did, because he went to the Asian grocery in Ellicott City, and I was like, hey.
Yeah, and then we tried to get into that place, and it was closed, and then we figured, no, that wasn't the place. This place over here that's actually open is, so we went over and had a meal there, and it
was called so and so, Chinese cuisine, except the menu was in Korean, and everything being offered was Korean, except for a little section of the menu that said American Chinese recipe. which had your basic General Chow chicken and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it was a completely very, very, very non-Americanized place. The English language used in the menus was
Creative.
yes, and the people working there didn't speak English very much. So there was Do you want to tell this story? Because you were much better at telling these escalating tales than I am.
I have issues because so I always like in the Asian grocery, and I get worried, I feel upset because I'm white and everything, and I'm like, I'm sorry that my race is horrible to everyone in the world, and it's not my fault either, because whenever I go to the Asian grocery, all the little Korean ladies glare at me. I know it. And so, I just have a complex about it. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go somewhere else. We'll just get McDonald's or something. Everything will be fine. And Hagen's like, no, because you want to have food adventures, just like Andrew Zimmern from Bizarre Foods. I was like, you're right, I do. So we go in there, and then I'm just like, I panicked because I was still reading the menu. And so Hagen ordered real quick. I'm like, I want this thing, and I just pointed to this random thing I'd been considering. So they brought us kimchi, and like these little pickled radish appetizers, which actually were very good. And kimchi turns out to be not as horrible as I've been led to believe. It was alright. I mean, I wouldn't go out of my way to eat it, but I wouldn't, throw up or anything. But so, what did you get?
I got sweet and sour and spicy pork.
Which wasn't done in the American sweet and sour pork way, where it's just like cocked in batter and like loogied into this big thing of oil, and it's horrible. It was actually kind of like tempura done. Yep. And so they were telling her, oh, you get noodles with this. And she was like, okay. So they bring us like a billion plates.
Well, they came to me and they were like, oh, we got noodles or something. And I was a bit, I wasn't really entirely sure what she was saying. And so they brought us all this stuff and we split it up between me having the noodles and Omega having the random...
Right, because mine was a noodle thing. And they gave us like this bowl of noodles covered in black bean sauce, which I'd gotten... like these mixed seafood thingies in spicy black bean sauce. So we thought that those were those, and they brought us another thing of noodles. We figured those were her free noodles because they had no sauce on. So we started eating and stuff and, mixing things up, and they came over, and these two ladies, and they kind of were flustered, and from what we got, we had eaten, like, I ate her extra noodles, and she ended up with my noodles, and we did it wrong.
Yeah, but then we were like, it worked fine the way we had it.
It did, and it tasted really good, too. I mean, it was, it was a bit pricey, but it was really worth it because it was very fresh, and I got to eat grilled eels, which I do like. But, like, I felt so bad. Like, I felt like once we left, they were like, psh, you see those white girls? They ate their noodles wrong.
But whenever Juario's in the area, we're intending to take him there and see what he thinks.
And he'll be like, guys, I do the Japanese thing. Okay.
There's a difference between, Japan and Korea, guys. I just wanted to tell you that. It's not cool, don't be racist, but join the cat girl army.
So if we ever have Justin on the show, will he be an honorary lesbian, or will we be honorary cat girls?
A bit of both.
Okay. Well, so then we went to the Asian grocery, and so we could just complete this afternoon of embarrassment. And I don't even know what possesses you when you are around foods that aren't in English. Like, we bought a frozen rabbit, and it's gonna be a stew.
The frozen rabbit's gonna be boss.
Well, in defense of there, I did have rabbit from there before, when I lived with the heroin addict and his wife. She made rabbit stew. But then we had to get out of there real quick.
Well, you had to. I was like...
No, because we were in the way, and then you couldn't find prawn crackers and stuff.
Well, I got the crab stuff, which is nearly the same thing.
I think it's going to be vomitous, and I am very concerned about your welfare.
That should be fine.
No, Patrick, you don't understand. She wants to deep fry everything. Everything.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. Her laying on the ground, clutching her chest in horrible pain is normal.
Probably.
Yeah, but, the crackers, it's a traditional thing in the UK and Ireland for when you get Chinese food, you get a bunch of prawn crackers. And
spoiler alert, it's nothing like a cracker. It's like a potato chip.
They start off as, they look like little plastic discs. You put them in deep fry, a lot of oil, and they sort of explode, and they become almost like really badass and awesome rice cakes with cocaine added.
No, that is so totally a lie. Don't you lie to him. Oh. My fan kicked on the machine. But no, see, so we made these once, and my house smelled like oil for literally 3 days. And she's like, "Aren't these great?" Hum, hum, hum. And I was like, crunch, crunch, crunch on the one because it was horrible. So that was today's adventure.
Wow. 'Cause I had such crazy adventures.
Well, it's another one of those how do we get ourselves into these situations kinds of things.
Which I finally had one of those Friday, I think it was. Was it Friday, Thursday, or something? Well, a few days ago. When I was wandering through a parking lot of a Kentucky Fried Taco Hut.
No, the Kentucky Fried Taco Huts don't exist anymore because Pizza Hut ended that partnership.
Oh.
Now it's just Kentucky Fried Taco Land.
Okay, well, one of those, and late at night in rural Pennsylvania, and just thinking to myself, why the fuck am I in Pennsylvania?
Because we were visiting my friend.
I know, but it was just like one of those moments when it was a little bit surreal because, I'm from Northern Ireland.
That's true.
And I know I come over here every so often, but it's just occasionally it's like, this is weird.
Hell? I had that experience when I was in Dublin, when everything was in English, but then also in Irish underneath, and everything was left-handed and strange, and you drive on the metric side of the road, and I'm scared.
You're gonna have that again in future, probably.
I don't even know how I'm going to learn how to drive in the UK. Really? This is going to end in tragedy.
Have you ever had one of those moments when you wonder what the fuck has been going on?
Me? Always. It's always, what the hell just happened? Or how the hell did I get here?
I think that's the story of every interesting person's life. I
Yeah.
ended up at a convention room party, at a Dead Dog room party on Sunday night, drunk out of my mind on Rumplemans, with the friend that I came with his shirt off, kneeling over an ottoman, being whipped by a dominatrix. And it wasn't a sex con or a sex party either. Sitting next to me was a fox fursuiter, and then on the other side of me was a raccoon fursuiter. And I thought to myself in that moment of lucidity, what the hell is going on? How do I get into these situations?
Why did you have to pay for the privilege?
Oh no, the party was free. I got in because a friend of mine who actually wasn't even a friend of mine. He was a friend of my friend's husband, and so he was the only one left at the con that I knew because everyone else had gone home, and I wasn't supposed to leave till the next day.
So have you ever seen dominatrixes in a fur con?
Well,
it wasn't a fur con. It was just a regular con.
Well, I've been whipped by a dominatrix, but not a fur con.
Was it by choice, or did she find you in the subway or something?
No, it was by choice. It was at Whorehound a few years ago. There was a dominatrix. My friend was like, "Hey, why don't you do it?" I was like, "Fine, maybe I will." So I did, and she whipped me with 3 different whips because I asked, "I want to be whipped by all your whips."
Were your friends like, okay, so I guess you don't have to buy drinks for the next year?
Oh please, I'm the Zoidberg in my group of friends. If anything, they want me to buy them more drinks.
That's pretty impressive. I can say that I honestly would not sign up for pain from a stranger unless there was some kind of medical benefit involved. For example, getting my teeth out. But they gave me nice drugs afterwards, so I was cool with that.
But pain from someone that she knows? Entirely different thing.
No, I don't want anyone to hit me. Okay, so, I mean, I understand that, BDSM and bondage, that's a big, that's a fetish thing, and there's clubs and stuff, and people like that, and that's cool. If you like that, that's great. Knock yourselves out. Do whatever it is that makes you happy, so long as you're not non-consensually hurting someone that doesn't want to be consensually hurt. That's fine and everything. But, if somebody, I mean, all of these, 50 Shades of Grey and everything, and, oh, it was so hot the way, he beat her up and stuff like that. I'd be like, no. If anyone tried that on me, I would call the cops. Also, I have steel-toe boots. I would kick them. I mean, I love you, dear.
I'm only barely paying attention to you.
Thanks.
You're not interesting.
I'm interesting. I'm so interesting that people, listen to our show. Okay, mostly because of you, but secondarily because of me.
I think most people come because of me because I'm the more famous one, but they stay because of you.
Maybe.
Hey, all I know is that right now, in comparison to me, you are interesting.
We're not interesting. You know, like the big thing about our day is that all that we've done today is watch Doctor Who and gone to the Asian grocery. I went to work this morning. We edited, and I'm gonna make a chocolate pudding cake or chocolate pudding pie tonight.
Oh,
I also wrote something.
Oh yeah, you were. That's true. I'm sorry, honey. I forgot.
yeah,
Which,
basically, my highlight day was, hey, I'm going to go see Iron Man 3. And then 85% of the movie, the power went out. Then the
That
fire
sucks.
alarm rang. So, we left, and then some guy was like, what the hell are you doing out there? The fire alarm isn't ringing in the lobby. So we came back in.
Did
Then the
they?
fire alarm kicked on everywhere, so we were re-evacuated. Then the fire department came, and then we got our readmission tickets.
Yeah, it must be like should give you like something for that.
given
Oh
what
yeah,
Given what Nash said about Iron Man 3, I think he would have preferred that over the film itself.
eesh.
Yeah, Nash said it was
Don't
bad.
think Iron Man 3 was that bad. I mean, obviously, I don't want to spoil anything, especially since you haven't seen it.
Well, we're
We're
going to
going
see
on
it shortly, but
Thursday.
Well, yeah, but the point is, yeah,
well, you can spoil
it,
stuff. You could spoil stuff for us too, because I already know the spoilers, and Omega doesn't give a shit. But you know,
Spoiler alert: Tony Stark's a douche.
but for the audience, yeah.
So audience, if you well, by the time you hear this, you'll have already either seen it or it'll have been spoiled for you. So not our problem.
yeah, basically, my side was like, I say it's like still decent, just like worst, worst of the three.
See, I want like a total like buddy movie with him and Hulk, like running around doing science stuff. I watched the shit out of that.
That would probably be more interesting than what we got.
Yeah, and there's they turn two films of build up into a gag.
And apparently, Honey, is Grape Ape going to be in this one?
Great Babe?
Grape Ape, the guy that was at the end of the Avengers.
No, Thanos is not in this one.
No,
Oh.
Thanos is going to be the villain of the Avengers 3. They're building up. They're building up a further 7 years in advance, honey.
No.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
feel like? I feel like every single partner that's been like, oh, I don't like sports, but you can go, I guess, because I don't really like superhero
I'm like,
movies.
I'd be like, I don't like Dave Matthews, but you can go see him if you want.
I will. God damn it. And if it, I don't think I can get tickets anymore. But I mean, if you're in the country, but if you're off working a con, better bet me and Sam are gonna go. We're gonna get drunk.
I'll be wondering which of you and Sam is going to be gayer for doing so.
Well, it doesn't really count because we're both gay, except for I love Dave Matthews. No, seriously, he's gonna marry me one day. He just doesn't realize it. And that's my
that's
fault.
gonna be quite a relationship.
Listen,
Especially considering she doesn't care for polyamory.
it'll work out somehow. I'm just not sure how. Listen.
I would say a fight to the death would settle it all.
Okay, no, all right. Let me backtrack. I wouldn't like want a romantic thing. I would just kind of want to hang out with Dave Matthews. Like, I think he'd be cool to hang out with, because he's awesome.
That I kind of agree with. I mean, I may have not, because I haven't actually actively cared about Dave Matthews about try
Yeah, a lot of
5 years.
people are like, yeah, oh, for the '90s, right? I'm like, no, he still makes music. They're still awesome. Shut up. I mean,
No.
their style certainly has changed. Like, I can see how back in the day, if you were in college, of course you loved Dave Matthews, and then you got over it. But
Yeah,
if I mean, with the various albums that he's released in his solo work, his style has changed a little bit, and every album is different. Like some of them, you just don't like as much as others. Like the new one, I do like it. I like Mercy. I think it's a good single, but it's not as good as like Les Busted Stuff, because I feel that had he was allowed to explore his creative side. But I don't think Hagen's going to talk to me anymore for monopolizing the conversation about the stylistic improvements of Dave Matthews over the year.
I don't want to say stylistic improvement. I would say that their sound is becoming more and more mainstream as the years go on. Because
Well, you know what? Yes and no, because they'll release an album that's like really, really blah, not blah, but really what you would expect, and then they'll completely turn that right around. Like, I was starting to feel that way until Some Devil came out, which was his solo album, and that was just fucking amazing. We love you, Hagen. We love Hagen. Oh, yes, we do.
I'm going to be killed, aren't I?
You're not gonna be killed. You're first of all, you're the guest, and you can't kill the guest. Second of all, you're in another state, so that's certainly not happening.
I have the same sort of feeling for Dave Matthews as you have for Nanowar, my love.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
You've got to know Dave Matthews. Yeah, he totally makes that good music. Yeah, yeah, play it. He thinks he's talented.
I never said that about Nanowar.
No, you just constantly
I
try to
don't
sum
like
up the
metal.
entire band and everything they do and the entire genre that they're in just with raw skulls.
Because that's what I think. I mean, like, anytime you show me something, you're like, look, it's metal. There's some skulls about.
It's not always skulls about.
Yes, there are Vikings.
No.
No, that's just Viking metal. There's other subgenres of metal. No.
This is what it's always being alleged. Hey, I downloaded a metal song on iTunes. I downloaded a Pathfinder song. I'll have you both know. Snit, snit, snit.
Because it's the theme music to your favorite 80s cartoon.
Yeah, well, so they did something right then.
Okay,
They appealed to me.
We should talk about The Shining.
Yeah, that's right.
Before I bash your fucking brains in.
Because we have a guest, so we're gonna forgo our music break, and we're gonna. What are we calling this section? Because you had a spiffy name for it.
For the talk about films?
Yeah, but specifically the ones you brought for me to watch, so we could talk about.
I made him make a watch a movie. Fuck you, audience.
Okay.
I think that's a very good name for it.
But anyway, we watched The Shining, the Stanley Kubrick version, which is actually one of the few Stephen King books that I haven't gotten around to reading, and I'm not sure why. I haven't had a lot of time to read lately, I guess that's probably why, but I'd never seen it before, so we figured, why not?
Yep, and, well, I like it enough to make you watch it, so... What did you think, person who'd never seen it before?
I thought it was good. It was actually really helpful because every 5 seconds you were like, do you see that lamp on the mantelpiece? That means this and this and this because Kubrick exploded an orphanage just to get the light to make it. And Kubrick is a bastard. Did I tell you about the time he raped puppies? Well, he did, just to get the shot. That's Stanley Kubrick. He's hardcore. And I was like, that's cool. Cool stories, are.
It's cool because it's true.
I know, right? What a douchebag this guy was.
You might be going slightly over the top with what was going
Pshaw.
on. A little bit.
Shaw. But no, I thought it was good. I thought it was well acted, certainly. Like, I like horror movies when it's like a kind of a psychological horror. There wasn't a lot of like blood and guts and gore like you get, nowadays. But I like that kind of like El Orfanato was like this too. I like that kind of like, whoa, once you realize it, you're afraid kind of thing. Also, Jack Nicholson is always crazy. Like, he'd probably walk into the 7-Eleven and be like, I'd like a coffee. And everyone would be like, oh god, he's insane!
Yeah. They probably just serve him coffee. He was like, oh god, please leave.
Just
Please.
don't hurt us, you can have it for free. You want some chips? Have some Doritos. I don't like Doritos. Oh god, he's gonna go crazy.
It's a good thing he's really old now.
That's true, yeah. Like, although I feel kind of bad because all through the movie, he was like, she's like, are you okay? And I go, I just realized I'm going to be in a movie where I turn into a werewolf. A middle-aged one.
In like 10 years.
Damn it, I'm the Joker, not Heath Ledger.
Apparently, I recorded an episode of Radiodrome last night. This was talked about beforehand. Apparently, there's a photo of Jack Nicholson. Someone got him to sign a picture of Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Oh.
He was like, yeah, and then he probably stepped on that person's head.
Even though he just signed it anyways. Probably the autograph says, to whoever, fuck you, Jack Nicholson.
Well, yeah, conventions generally, if you pay them the money, they will sign anything, so...
Yes, but then they'll talk about you in interviews.
Well, they'll sign anything to an extent. Because I know when Jamie Lee Curtis came to town back in November for another horror hound, my friend's brother had escaped from New York poster because she has a cameo as the computer voice at the very beginning. And she was like, I wasn't in that. I'm not going to sign that. I was like, yeah, you were. Here you are in IMDb in Escape from New York. I was like, fine, whatever.
Well, I suppose when you make something 40 years ago and it's just like a tiny cameo, you sort of you begin to forget the exact details of everything you've done.
Be like, I wasn't in that. Yes, you were. That's you in the poster. It was the 60s. We were doing a lot of drugs. I have to go. Not that I imply that Jamie Lee Curtis does drugs. Stay in school, kids.
She's a lady in the British British nobility.
I thought you couldn't do that if you were American.
No, she is, and her husband is Lord Hayden Guest.
Oh.
And
I said, or that too.
He comes. His father was this noble, and his dad moved to Canada, and he became Christopher de Guest, writer of Spinal Tap and stuff.
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis, and then her father died, so he became he went to, he was a lord, and until the changes happened in the late 90s for the British House of Lords, he actually would sit in the House of Lords and take part in the British legal system.
That's cool for him, I guess.
Political system.
I thought you couldn't hold title if you were an American, or another person from another country.
No, you can. Steven Spielberg's a knight.
Yeah, but I thought you couldn't do that. Only English people or British people can.
No, you can. It depends on the type of nobility rank. Knighthoods can be bestowed by the Queen on anyone. However, you've got to be a British or a Commonwealth citizen in order to call yourself Sir. Steven Spielberg, if he wants, can call himself Steven Spielberg KBE, Knight of the British Empire.
KBE. If I was that, I'd go under something choosing myself as the Omega. KBE. But if he
you'd be a DBE. Oh. That would be Dame of the British Empire.
DBE. So if he decided to renounce his American citizenship and he became a British citizen, then he could call himself Sir.
Yeah.
There you go. The more you know. Wow. There's a lot of impromptu singing on Lesbian Talk, as you probably have.
Singing? I know that was an impromptu info dump.
She does that. She does that all the time. You can just imagine living her. Literally, I'll be about to go to bed. I'll be thinking, oh, I should do this things and stuff tomorrow. And what am I gonna have for lunch? Oh, maybe I'll just go to Subway again. And then she'll be like, oh, did you know that so and so said things and stuff one time? And I'm like, that's so interesting.
This is true. I do this occasionally.
Last night you were talking about Switzerland in your sleep.
What? What was I saying?
I can't remember because I was half asleep for the first part too. But then you were saying something and you just turned to me and totally serious. Well, you just don't like Switzerland. In an accusatory way. You'd been defending Switzerland. And I was like, honey, what are you talking about? Are you asleep? And then you said, I think we're both talking about different vids. And I was like, what? And you were like, on YouTube. I think we're talking about different ones. And then I got up to go to the bathroom, so I was like, I'm not dealing with the rest. But the first thing you said was really funny, but now I can't remember it.
Yeah, I do that. I talk in my sleep.
I don't know, but all I know is that you just don't like Switzerland. Sounds like a great opening line to something.
I'm not, no, she'll just say these things. One time, this is before we got married, and she was visiting, and just literally, turns over and starts talking to me, and I was like, what happened? What's wrong? And we were going to go to, I think we were going to go to D.C. and take one of the historical tours, and she says to me, wouldn't it be embarrassing if the tour guide, turned into something else? And I was like, what, a fruit bat? Yeah. Wouldn't that be embarrassing?
Yeah, for him.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or one time, just says to me in all earnestness, we have to tell my brother. And I was like, honey, your brother's not here. He's in your country. You cannot tell him anything.
Well, shit happens.
But see, I don't do that, though. I don't talk in my sleep. Or do I?
I have not come across it.
Okay, good. My secrets are safe.
For now. Although we have to tell what happened, the story about Kippers.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said, all right, so...
This is an epic story.
And she said, we should tell the story on Lesbian Talk today. And I'm like, So, Kippers... Disapproving Kippers does not approve of our relationship, we found out. Because we were quite potentially fooling around in a very, married kind of way. And we hear, meow. And I didn't know where he was, and I looked up, and he was actually curled up at the foot of the bed, nearly on her feet. And he just turned around and looked at us. And I was like, buddy, what's wrong? And he just looked at us, and then he, like, put his head back down again. So we continued what we were doing. And wow, wow, wow. And I was like, what? Buddy, what's wrong? We both said that every time until we finally nudged him off and he ran away.
Yeah, it took about 10 minutes, and this happened about 16 times.
It was like, maybe he was being protective of me. I don't even know what that was about, but it happened. And
It was fucking hilarious.
Okay, so it looks like it's time for the trivia fact. Giovanni, are you with us today? Yeah, Wash. I'm over here, being ignored as usual. You always have guests on, but do I ever get the guest host? Never. No one loves a lobster.
Fuck you, lobster.
Why? Okay, someday you guys are gonna have to. Someday when I'm gone, you're gonna be all each other has, and you have to come together. Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Stroke, 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 stroke.
You're stroking the air. Don't even lie. Giovanni, come over here. Do the trivia. All right, boss. Well, today. Okay, boss. So today our trivia is about the most best thing in the world for mammals, anyway. Well, humans, I guess, and that's television. Did you know that depending on where you go to school, you'll learn that someone different invented the television? It's true. America, the UK, and Russia all lay claim to it. But depending on how you define television, changes who actually came up with the first invention.
This is true. I personally don't know much about the Russian guy, but I know that Philo Farnsworth apparently invented the first electronic television, but the first mechanical television was invented by John Logie Baird, who is the British claim. So.
Well, anyway, I don't care because I don't even watch it. So that's been Giovanni's trivia fact. I'm out of here, mammals.
I hope Andrew Zimmern gets you.
Andrew Zimmern wouldn't eat him.
Yes, he would. Andrew Zimmern would eat anything.
Not if he's alive and talking.
Yeah, he would.
I think he draws the line at talking and sentience.
That would make him even more interesting to eat. You ever seen The Two Doctors? Gourmands will eat anything, especially if they're talking.
Anyway, now it's
I'll
time...
take your word for it.
Yeah, take her word for it because she's got an evil gleam in her eye. But now it's time for a part of the show called One Time at the Store. If you're just joining us, if this is the first episode you've ever listened to, I spent the last over 9 years working for a large chain bookstore. I've pretty much seen it all. The awful, the stupendous, the horrible, and the interesting. And today was one of those times. Now, today I had a woman who, this morning actually at my shift, who, came up to customer service. And she wanted to know when the new Sylvia Day book was out. Because she thought it was soon. Actually, it's going to be out on June 4th if you want to buy it. And Sylvia Day has written a trilogy of books that kind of are just like 50 Shades of Grey. And so, she went off to go browse. And so this woman came back, and she had like 4 or 5 of like Sylvia Day and Maya Banks and all the new BDSM, erotica, 50 Shades of Grey type books. And she had, I think she was in the islands. She had this kind of Jamaican or islands, or maybe even, African accent. And, so she was all real excited. She's like, I don't know which one I'm going to get, but this one is really good and things and stuff. And I was like, well, it's been selling really well. And she said, oh, I love 50 Shades of Grey, but I didn't like the bondage so much. And I was like, oh? She's like, yeah, I liked it, it was about she used her heart and tamed him, and there's the love that came from that, but I don't like the bondage and tying up. No, I didn't like that. And so, I was like, well, you like what you like and stuff like that. And so then she looked over, and we had The Great Gatsby. We had it in a plexi display, and we had the Overstock piled behind it because The Great Gatsby is on the paperback bestseller list right now because of the movie coming out. And she goes, why is this hidden back here? And I was like, oh, well, that's just Overstock because we have only so many fit in the display. It's a bestseller right now. She's like, oh, I know, I love The Great Gatsby. And I said, well, do you know that, F. Scott Fitzgerald, he and Zelda lived in Baltimore for a while. She actually was, one of the times she was in a mental hospital, was out in Rockville. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, he had a house in Towson, I think he's buried in Maryland. And so she's like, oh, yeah, I love Fitzgerald, we read it. We started talking about how I really don't think that, The Great Gatsby is appropriate for 3D. Like, what's he going to do, swirl his martini and it looks like it's coming right at you? So, I was like, well, I always wanted to read Tender as the Night. And she's like, oh, what is that one? I was like, well, it's kind of really about his wife, but he always said it wasn't. And so, we went into fiction, and she's, oh, do you have such and such book by Hemingway? They were friends. I was like, yeah, and stuff. And, his wife thought that he and Hemingway were having this affair. And she goes, I know, because he was so effeminate, but he really wasn't gay, they think. And we're standing there, and there's this, 50-something white guy who's standing there browsing his, in fiction. He looks over and goes, I know, right? Hemingway was a hot mess. And she's like, I know, right? And I was like, I know, right? But it just struck me. It was just like the most surreal kind of moment. We're standing there, and this guy turns out, yep, Hemingway was a hot mess. And that was my story for today. She was pretty cool, though. She ended up leaving with Movable Feast, Tender is the Night, and then the 2 erotica books. So, and that's my story. And Hagen is...
It was like an inverse Mad TV skit.
It really was.
It's like, in Mad TV skit, it would have been like 2 white people talking in the bookshop about, hello, Hemingway, and da-da-da, and Scott Fitzgerald, and then you would have had this sassy black woman going, he was a hot mess. But then you sort of created the inverse, because, you talking to the black woman, and then suddenly it was this middle-aged white guy yelling it.
It was just so surreal, but he said it with such conviction, too. But now it is time for us to say goodbye to Patrick, our guest, because we are going to, I know we're going to go into the Doctor Who section.
But do you have anything that you want to bring up finally?
Let it all out.
Yes. Declare your love for Kippers.
What?
Oh, I think this is time for me to do a cheap-ass plug on my actual show, That Other Song. I take a look at the good, the bad, the mediocre, and forgotten top 40 songs.
And what is your Blip or YouTube channel? Because everyone should totally go there right this second in the future when this is posted.
Yeah, basically, it's on Blip, and you can go there, you can search for That Other Song, and it'll come up. It's also feature performer thingy on the zerolevel.com.
Yep, go visit them. And you know what? What we'll do is during this part of the show, I will put your link to your Blip. I'll put the URL in the video so everyone can go check it out. And you will be immortal!
It's a funny definition of immortal.
Immortal, honey. Just go with it.
That means we're immortal several times over, and that's not possible. Your logic is flawed.
We're Time Lords. So anyway, thank you, Patrick, so much for being with us. Everyone go look at his stuff right now.
Yeah, people seem to like it stuff. And thank you for having me. I hope you hold another auction that I'll win.
Now, that is a big possibility, because we've been considering that sometime in the future. And so, you guys, he is an eBay warrior, so gird your loins. Get ready.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Yes, we are considering doing possibly every year or so a Lesbian Talk eBay thing, and all the money going to charity.
Yeah, we're going to pick a really awesome charity, not like one of those, stupid ones,
Save the roof cracks.
Toenails. Roof cracks?
I don't know, cracks in your roof, some people want them saved. I don't know.
Save the toenails, everyone. Bit on Lesbian Talk. But Patrick, thank you for being with us, and this episode should be going up not this week but next week, so you'll be famous next week.
Oh,
have a good night. Okay, so today's episode of Doctor Who is called The Crimson Horror. Oh no.
There was a crimson horror in it.
I liked this episode. I didn't want to, but I really did like it.
Why did you not want to?
Well, because, when I found out it was a Dr. Light episode, I was like, oh no, more quirky aliens fumbling about in Victorian London and things and stuff. And I thought it would be one of those, kid-friendly episodes where the power of love would compel us. But it wasn't, and I liked that, so.
And it was this was the closest we've had to a pure historical since the early 80s.
With no alien involvement.
Except for the Doctor and the Suntaran.
Yeah, that's true. But he was a supporting character.
Yeah, it's like there's no aliens attacking the Earth or anything like that, and it's a historical thing, and everything, the Silurians, they're from Earth. The red creature thing, from Earth. Because steampunk random technology, yes, but it's still from Earth. So,
yep.
So it's not a pure historical, because you got the sci-fi elements, that are, and stuff that really, the anachronistic stuff is there, but it's the closest to that. And thank you, Mark Gatiss. You have finally done an episode of Doctor Who that I don't have much to bitch about. You know, you got close with Cold War, although David Warner's character was fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Should have made him the captain. This one, good work, Mark Gatiss.
Good for you. Let's see what I liked. I liked a lot of stuff. I liked the Doctor having to be rescued and getting a scrape, because he used to do that a lot in classic Doctor Who. Need to be rescued. I liked that Jenny was like totally, a badass. That was pretty cool. What else? I liked that the Doctor used a Monty Python line, and it kind of made my night.
I got the feeling that Monty Python were putting that as well.
I don't care. I like it. Makes me happy.
I will bitch about a couple of things, though. Rolling up my sleeves.
I'm not even wearing any sleeves right now. Liar. Why are you telling lies, liar? So what do you want to bitch about, honey? Let it all out.
Santara, okay, these are issues that I intend to go over whenever I finally review Good Man Goes to War. But I'll just repeat it when I review that. The Santaran is basically a comedy Klingon.
Yeah.
The Santaran is the Santaran is a complete and utter fucking comedy Klingon moron for children. Santarans are meant to be a soldier race.
Well, maybe he was a fuck up as a soldier. You don't know that. Maybe he's like the Jack Black of Santarans. You don't know. It could be.
I don't think Jack Black would be quite as stupid as the Santaran. The another element. This one was the one that made me dislike the Silurian and the lesbian Silurian and her girlfriend the least, because when they were introduced, they were basically only there so that Stephen Moffat could do a cunnilingus joke.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
real lesbians don't think that's funny, Mr. Moffat.
So I will bitch about that in the episode, but I still haven't got over the fact that they only existed for an oral sex joke.
Yeah, but their characters are kind of fleshed out, though, or starting to be anyway.
Yeah, they're getting better.
Like, I mean, I know I can probably type it in Google and find like a whole bunch of fanfic, Victorian adventures of theirs written by everyone on the internet.
And yeah, there's a bunch of elements just about them as characters that I really don't care for. But this one, they were the least irritating they've ever been. Such as, I really dislike that Silurian design. Yeah. The Silurians are meant to be humanoid lizards, humanoid reptiles. I'm gonna bitch about this in the Good Man Goes to War as well, but lizards don't have breasts.
That's a good point. Well, you know what, honey? They might not be her breasts. She might be wearing falsies to fit in.
All of the Silurian, they see male and female Silurians, and all of the female ones all have breasts.
Oh.
When in the original story with the Silurians, back with John Pertwee, they all were A, naked, B, all played by very tall and thin men, and they all looked almost identical.
Well, again, she might be wearing clothes not because it's, she needs to. It just,
I know, but in the Silurian...
Although this pissed me off, like, no one could tell I'm a lizard behind my veil, and I'm like, really, we can.
Well, in the other Silurian stories, they did wear clothing, so it's just like...
Oh.
I wasn't bitching about her wearing clothing. What I was bitching about was the fact that, honestly, now this would really work better if I reviewed Cold Earth, the one with the Silurian when they came back. Mm-hmm. The Silurians ideally should be played by some male actors who are quite thin and tall, and who look similar, and then you just have several of them are female, but they don't look female, because alien sexual, other races' sexual dimorphism should not be similar to humans.
Well, I think the thing is that they're like, well, how are the audience going to know that they're female?
Well, that's where you get a nice bit where the Doctor says when the companion calls them a he, and the Doctor points out that they're a she, like it happened in Rings of Atom.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And said, don't judge a book by its cover. There you go. You get a nice message for the children, but instead we've got lizard people with human eyes who have tits, which really irritates me. It's still leftover irritation from that first appearance of the Silurians, and honestly, they designed a classic-looking Silurian makeup for the new series, but they decided halfway through the pre-production of the episode to drop it and replace it with something much more generic and just looks like a Star Trek alien. It's quite irritating. The one that was invented originally looks beautiful. It's probably more expensive because it was badass, but yeah, this episode was mostly good. It was nice to see Diana Rigg.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my mom because while she isn't very not a Matt Smith fan because she said he's too young, she does love her some Diana Rigg.
Yep, Diana Rigg being properly northern. And I have to notice, Mark Gatiss is a big fan of Adam Adamant. And the main storyline of this is quite similar to 2 episodes of Adam Adamant.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
You've got one where you've got this guy planning to destroy the entire world and sort of he collects like a colony of perfect, beautiful people in order to try and save. And there is another one where you've got this sort of you've got this doomsday preacher who is trying to create a colony and destroy the world. Well, he's not actually doing that. He was pretending. But you got the religious section to that. It's like they took elements from a couple of different Adam Adamants and put them together, and I'm fine with that. I wish Mark Gatiss would review Adam would I would love Mark Gatiss to do Adam Adamant, a remake.
You should tweet at him and tell him that. Is he on Twitter?
That was odd. Yeah. Still going through. I just think the headphones have died.
Well, it doesn't really matter that much because we don't need them right now. So,
Hello?
Yeah, we're still going. Yeah, the audio's still picking. Alright, that's weird. Okay.
Definitely needs to go to hat.
I paid $30 for these because they're like the athletic sport ones. Waste of my money anyway.
Well, they might not be broken. I don't know what happened there. Okay. Talking about Diana Rigg.
Yeah.
It was nice to see Diana Rigg again.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell my mom because she's not a big fan of Matt Smith. She says he's too young to play the Doctor. She really does love her some Diana Rigg. So I'm gonna tell her about that.
And you got Diana Rigg using her actual accent. You know, you got Diana Rigg in this episode with Mark Gatiss, and then you've got Mark Gatiss's last episode, Cold War, featured David Warner. It's like someone let Mark Gatiss cast the episodes as well.
Yeah. Well, isn't he the one that you always say should do Adam Adamant?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I said that a few minutes ago.
No, because you put that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love Mark Gatiss to remake Adam Adamant. He's a big fan of the show, and there were elements of this that were reminded me of several episodes of Adam Adamant. Most particularly the episode where he had someone who was obsessed with beauty, decided to create a colony full of beautiful people while destroying the rest of the world using some sort of virus. It's like, Gatiss has been watching his Adamant. Good work.
One thing about this episode... Oh, sorry, guys. Spoilers. One thing about this episode that I thought was cool they didn't use a lot is when they preserve the people, kind of like in those like vacuum seal pumps. I really wanted to see more of that, but we only saw it once briefly and then twice when he smashed the thing to get Clara out. And I was like, that looks really cool and really disturbing. Let's focus on that some more.
Like the Vincent Price House of Wax type thing.
Yeah.
The bit where they were dunking people into the evil red slime of evil, it did remind me of 1986's Transformers, cartoon movie. Whenever people got melted inside Unicron.
Good point, honey.
Yeah, I have less to say about episodes of Doctor Who which are mostly good.
Yeah, I did like it, although I didn't like the ending. I was like, really? Really? Come on. Like, the whole thing with the kids, no, how did you, no. Okay, first of all, there was no one taking photographs in the secret Russian sub. There was no one taking photographs that would have ended up in some kid's school book. Okay, I'll give you the picture from, they were taking photographs in the 70s, but, with that guy working for the Department of Ungentlemanly Things and stuff, how would those photographs have gone public?
Well, he wasn't working for them while he was looking for the paranormal stuff.
That's true. Okay, so that's possible.
Yeah, it's the submarine that's the problem, because if only the person who wrote that episode had thought to put, someone taking photos in the episode, but, that would involve the same writer of the Crimson Horror, Mark Gatiss, coming up with that idea when he only wrote Cold War.
Well, I mean, the one that bothered me about the one in London, it was the fact that, okay, I can see that because it's probably a tin type or a daguerreotype, and she's would have had to hold still for the 10 minutes that takes to develop. She's dressed as in her nanny outfit, not in her barmaid outfit. So, probably maybe somebody with money commissioned it. It's not a death still, so, they did it, before she died.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, she's smiling. That was so not done back then. And if she was, doing this for, having her portrait taken for the rich family she worked for, they would have probably, would you stop that? That's the part that I found unrealistic.
That is true. But I have to say, Mark Gatiss, knowing the sort of work he does, he probably told them not to be smiling in the script. Mark Gatiss is a complete Victorian sort of a file. He loves Victorian era. He does lots of Victorian stuff. He knows his shit. And, he even uses words like phantasmagoria.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so...
Alright, well then, that's... some production assistant probably said, okay, smile.
Yeah, or the assistant director or something. I would not lay the blame for that at Mark Gatiss' feet.
Yeah, because her standing there smiling totally ruined the age effect of it. Like, okay, I could see that being pretty fucking disturbing. Looking at an obviously old, early photography image of you, not even smiling, just standing there looking at the camera.
Not
that
really.
Could fuck you up. I could fuck.
This is going back to what I was saying during Hyde about Clara being a twat. Clara should automatically jump to, hey, at some point in the future, me and the Doctor are going to Victorian London, and they're going to take a photo of me.
Okay, well, for the audience, that would have been a disturbing effect. Because, I mean, obviously Clara played, obviously the actors played both parts, but modern Clara, companion Clara, doesn't remember or is different from
Yeah, she doesn't
Victorian.
remember that, so she should assume it's going to happen to her in her personal future.
Right, but I feel that if the actress had not been smiling when they took the picture, it would have been very interesting because she might have asked herself, "Is that me? I mean, I'm always smiling. That can't be me. Who is this?" I think it would have been cool. That's all.
Thematically and realistically, the non-smiling would have been much better.
It would have been aesthetically pleasing.
But
no one loves me.
The bit that I'm going to bitch about is the bit with the Russian submarine.
Yeah, that didn't make sense because who was taking pictures?
Quite. Maybe the photo was taken after the fight with the Ice Warrior.
Yeah, when they were like, well,
we're all friends now.
Yeah.
So maybe. I have to say that one part of this episode of the Crimson Horror that I really did like was the flashbacks to the Doctor and Clara, where they shot it as looking.
Yeah, that looked really neat.
That looked really, really cool. I wish the whole episode was filmed like that. Actually, fuck that. I would like every single historical episode of Doctor Who filmed like that. That would be wonderful.
Well, when you go beyond the age of visual technology, that will get kind of odd.
That doesn't matter.
In ancient Egypt, everything is like carved in stone.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've seen a movie where they showed the historical parts of this film, the historical flashbacks, and it was filmed like that, but it was all like ancient Egyptian Vikings and stuff, and it was rather amusing.
That's cool. And there was a
actually, no, I think I remember. In the Victoria, they had the story was set during the first days of cinema. I can't remember what it was, but then it was filmed normally, and then they showed flashbacks to before cinema was invented, looking like old film.
Okay, I can see that. I like the callback to Classic Doctor in the beginning. That was kind of cool. Well, okay, when you first see the Doctor and Clara getting to England, it'll make Nash happy.
Lots less to bitch about this episode than many others. That I have to say, starting with Cold War, they've been on a hell of a decent sort of upwards sort of thing. They've been getting better. And the next episode is most likely going to be another bit improvement as well, because although the trailer looks fairly lackluster, it's Neil Gaiman. He is probably going to give us something really good because
he don't fuck around.
The Doctor's Wife which was his episode from season 6, was the last brilliant episode of New Who, and I'm looking forward to it.
BB.
Of course, then the episode after that's going to completely fuck it up. The name of the Doctor. His name's
is the season over already?
His name's Jacques.
Really?
Jack Strap.
Oh, got it. Is that a British joke?
Jack Strap.
Oh. I'm not paying attention.
I'm being stupid. Yeah, this is the end of the season because they split it into two. The first half involved Amy and Rory.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And then, so we won't see anything until November when the 50th anniversary is coming. But nobody cares because none of the classic Doctors are involved. But Big Finish is doing one with 9 of them, so I'm just saying.
Well, 90s. They're doing like 5 with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 5 of them. Honestly, that's the one I'm looking forward to.
And Perry will be there too.
Fuck the Matt Smith and David Tennant run around with a crap-looking Zygon Hour of Power.
Nobody cares about David Tennant. Well, probably his family does.
Fuck, Rose being in that too.
Oh snap! But how do you really feel? You're gonna watch it anyway. You know you will.
I will watch it, and I will probably end up doing a review on it because I am guessing it's looking not very good.
Who's writing it?
Moffat.
Oh boy! Has he ever written for Rose before?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to promise that I'm going in there and to hate it. I'm expecting to hate it. I'm hoping I will not.
Well, before you get any more venom all over the couch, do you want to get the dictionary?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I want to pick again because now that you're in my country,
got a dictionary.
You do. So I pick page 421.
421. Got it. And the next episode will feature a very interesting part of an interview.
Yes. Next episode we record will be interesting because I don't know where we're going to be recording it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see on that. There may be special guests, there may be not. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we might be in Canada. Who knows? Or it might be recorded several days late when I'm back home and Omega's here. Or it might be even the moon. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll let you know about that. So I choose number 1, column 1.
Okay. 13.
8.
Military.
Woohoo!
No, sorry, no, it was penis.
That's not an M. So military, hey, we can talk about the time that I almost joined the Navy and the time that I lied to the Army.
We can talk about the time whenever the military blew up my home country.
It did not. I've been to your home country. You lying liar. So anyway, I've been the Omega. Who have you been today?
A floor.
No. And we have Patrick with us, so we'll see everyone next time.
Check out Patrick's stuff.
Yes.